One of the recent improvements to the game room down here has been the addition of another TV. This is a Tinkerbell TV, it's a Disney CRT. The picture looks fantastic and it works great down here. I knew for a while that I wanted to put something in this dead space up here, and the CRT is just what the doctor ordered. Unfortunately, we ran into a problem, and I almost predicted this problem when I first decided to do this in the first place. So let's back up a little bit here and talk about a game night we had a couple weeks ago and a game night before that. When people came over, it was my goal to see how this TV fares being up so high. I'm 5'11" on a good day, and as you can see, it's pretty high up there. And I thought maybe someone would stand right here and play. It's a little crammed, and they did, they kind of did, or they sat on the couch and played, and that was fine too. But it wasn't great because you're looking so high up. So I figured that would be a problem, I predicted it would be a problem, and here we are. It's not a huge problem, but it's one we're going to try to solve. So these are all Kallax shelves down here, all IKEA Kallax system down here, and we love the Kallax system. It's wonderful for gaming. However, it has one downfall. There's a 4-cube version, there's a 2-cube version, there's a 1-cube version, but there's no 3-cube version, and really 3 cubes would be perfect. It would put the TV about here somewhere, and I'd be able to have it a little bit lower and people would be a little bit more comfortable playing it. That's the goal, at least. Unfortunately, they don't have the 3-cube. So I'm making my own. Now, before we go any further in this video, I'll let you know, do not modify IKEA furniture. Do not modify any furniture if you don't know what you're doing. IKEA furniture has a habit of tipping over. There's been lots of problems with IKEA furniture. I love IKEA stuff. I'm very safe about it. I know what I'm doing, so I will be modifying this myself. I take no responsibility for any injuries or damage you cause by modifying your furniture. This is what I'm doing because I'm comfortable doing this. If you don't know what you're doing, please do not do this. I can't make that any clearer. IKEA stuff is great, but they have had some issues. Without further ado, here's what I've done. Over here, you'll notice that I've ordered a 2-cube IKEA Kallax and a single-cube IKEA Kallax. I have them clamped together in the back here with a good old-fashioned clamp. And my thought process was to try to make this as sturdy and secure as possible. I'm going to find a way to hold this together. And my thought process was use these brackets that you get for deck building, I believe. So I found this bracket here. It's a deck building bracket. It's pretty heavy. And what I'm going to do is very carefully put this here between both so that I can have screws on the single one and the double one, drill it and connect it together. That's the goal, at least. Now, how will that work in practice? I don't know yet. On top of that, IKEA stuff is essentially compressed sawdust, or cardboard, or both. So when you get into these Kallax cubes, especially the interiors like this, it's not much to bite into. So this may or may not work. Either way, I'm going to do the first bracket, hopefully on camera. We'll see if it works. If it does, I'll do the second bracket. Then we'll begin the next step, which is going to be pull off these Gobi light strips and get them ready to be reassembled onto this new one here, and then simply pull these shelves out, put them in the new one, put the TV on top, and hopefully call it a day. Now that I've said all that, this video will go on forever and ever, be a nightmare, and I won't get to bed till 10, 11 o'clock tonight because something will go horribly wrong. But in reality, my prediction for what goes wrong is going to be that these brackets here, not the brackets, but the screws that go into the wood, or wood as IKEA calls it, will kind of strip out or not grip very much. If that happens, my backup plan is to sink anchors into there to hopefully give it some more grip strength. The goal, though, in general, is to make sure that when I open and close drawers, that these things, these shelves that are not attached to each other directly, without this bracket, don't topple over. Now, I have ways of making sure they don't topple over down here. In general, I have straps in the wall, so that's what I'll be doing. But anyways, without further ado, let's just see if this is going to work. I kind of laid it out earlier, and I got the right size screws I would need to go through these brackets. I've clamped it down in the front to make sure they don't move as I'm doing the brackets here, but as usual, I didn't bring anything to hold the screw in place, so this ought to be real fun. I'm not a woodworker, I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a craftsman. I'm not really good at anything, which is why I'm a teacher. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this, I guess, and hope it doesn't split. The biggest issue is the holes for this are not obviously meant for, Kallax furniture, so, boy, I need to be able to hold this and that. There we go, nice and easy, real nice and easy. That gripped, we're good. I don't need to worry about that. If this sticks out a little on the side, I'm not too concerned, mainly because you really won't see it once it's in, so I'm going to kind of pick and choose where I put these screws at here and pray I don't hurt these. Worst comes to worst with IKEA stuff, I'm out $30 to $60 for these shelves here, and that's not a huge deal, but I'd still prefer not to do damage if I can avoid it. So far, so good. They're gripping well, and I'm not going to push it too hard, especially because these holes are pretty much right on the edge. They are gripping really, really well, though, for IKEA furniture. So that's a good sign. I'm actually quite pleased with that. Once I do this, there'll really be... There might actually be wood there. There might actually be real wood there. I'm using the impact, and there's actually, like, it's working to get in there, so... Okay. That feels great already. I'm going to do this on both sides because I bought 2 brackets. These brackets were $6.50 a piece, I want to say. That's a really good sign that they're gripping that hard. I'm not really pushing it too hard because I don't want to strip anything or make extra holes, but it's not bad. Okay. That probably worked better than it should have, honestly. That feels great. I'll do the other bracket, then we'll take the clamp off and we'll see how that worked. We'll see you soon. All right, well, that actually gripped into the IKEA furniture a lot better than I thought it would. In fact, it was really surprising how well it was gripping. There must be some solid wood here somewhere. So I'll take the clamp off now, and we will see how that worked out. Now, the front of this, obviously, not so great. It's going to kind of bounce around here. But in terms of it coming off, that's not going to happen. What I might do is I have one more bracket on the side I might use to kind of bind this together if I can. Yeah, I could probably do that. So I got one more strap. I'll try to strap it at least one place on the side, and we'll go from there. Okay, so I'm actually surprised how well this worked. And again, please don't do this unless you know what you're doing or are comfortable doing this. But modifying furniture of any type, especially IKEA, can be dangerous. So far, so good. I got these two brackets over here. It held together very well in the back, but it did present the problem of the front tipping forward a little bit. This one in particular coming off the other two. I used this other strap here I bought. I put 6 screws, 3 on each one of these, top and bottom. A little angle here held it together, and I think we're good to go. This doesn't seem like it's going to go anywhere, especially when I pull shelves in and out. That's the good news here. So now the next step is the, I guess, easy step, which is pull all these lights off here. These Govee lights off this particular one here using the 3M strips provided, and get ready to swap them out. Now, how it's going to look when we put the new one in is going to be a little bit different, but we'll figure that out when we get there. So we'll start just doing this and watching them come apart. I'm sure somebody just cringed really hard watching doing that. We'll leave this, you know what, I'll just take it apart like that. And, well, I'm going to strip all these down, and we'll see you in a few minutes. These Govee lights are held up by these damage-free, like 3M hanging strips, and I love them a lot. They've been really useful, and I'm going to replace them with similar pads. The only issue I have with them is this. When you go to pull them off, you have to start from the bottom, nice and slow, and then they snap off and give you a little kiss there. Not the best feeling in the world. Either way, let's pull the shelves out, and we're almost ready to swap it out. All right, well, that wasn't very difficult at all somehow, knock on wood. We just swapped the old shelf out there, this 4-cube shelf. We put my newly constructed 3-cube shelf in there. Of course, it fit perfectly. It's the same exact dimensions. Kallax hasn't changed for a while. It feels a lot sturdier. It's not perfect yet. We'll get there. But already, we're liking the fact that the TV is much lower. Now, even if you're a little bit taller, a little bit shorter, you can stand here comfortably and play, or you can see it from the couch a little bit easier without going like this. That's not great for anyone. So believe it or not, the hard part about this whole project is most likely to be getting the Govee lights back on here in a way that makes sense and looks cool. I have some other tubes in the other room into storage from these other Govee lights, so I'm going to see if I can make a little cooler pattern here, mainly because the middle of this is a lot thicker than the old one. So maybe we'll start down there and go over this way and go up and around, but either way, we'll try to do something cool, and I'll start working on that now, and you'll see the end result. So I'm going to get going there, get the 3M strips on, and I'll see you pretty soon. So I think you'll agree, or hopefully you'll agree, that this here is a lot better in terms of being able to sit here, or stand here, I should say, and actually play a game. Now I'm about, like I said, I'm a little bit above eye height with it, but looking this way is a lot more comfortable than I was doing before, which was this up here. It doesn't seem like a huge lower, but it really makes a big difference. Now the TV isn't sitting exactly below, but a little bit on par with this one here, at least the top of it. So anyways, this wasn't a very complicated project. It went very well, and hopefully it holds up for a while. I think it will. So there you go. There is our project done. Our Govee lights are back up. We really didn't modify much. It's about the same as it was before. We had to take one tube away, and really, that's all she wrote. This looks good. I think it looks good. It functions well so far. Nothing's like tipping over when I open up a drawer, which is my big concern. Nothing's going to really fall apart, hopefully, at least not for a long time. I know IKEA isn't forever. But in general, the project went really well, and I think this is a lot more accessible for people during game nights or just gaming down here in general on a weekday night on the couch. So, thanks to TVs like this, the N64 is actually playable. I hope you enjoyed that little journey with me. It wasn't too painful for once down here in the game room. It went quick and easy, and I'm very glad I did it. Anyways, we'll see you in the next one.